Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Matthew Faisa and I'm a third year medical student from London. I study at King's College and this is the second installment into my honest review of my second year as a medical student. If you haven't seen my first video yet, the video where I give an honest review about the mistakes and the good and the bad about my life as a medical student in my first year, definitely go back and watch that, as a lot of things in this video kind of feed off the information in that one. So definitely go watch that before you watch this. So to start off, second year was honestly 10 times better than my first year at medical school. The first year was very repetitive and heavily based on lecture and theory, whereas second year was filled with interesting patient and clinical experiences that kind of complemented the less amount of lectures we had and gave us a good basis and insight into life as a doctor in a hospital. For second year, we only had 1 day a week of lectures, thankfully, which was a lot easier to manage than the 5 days in the previous year. In addition to that, we had 1 day at a GP placement, 1 day at a hospital placement, and the other 2 days for other uni content and work. The clinical placements organised by King's at the GP or the hospital were very interesting, as it provided you with different cases with patients, helped build your communication skills, and generally give you good clinical experience. This is definitely what I imagined a med course to be like, so I was definitely quite excited to kind of delve and go headfirst into this. I thought the GP and hospital placement complemented each other quite well, as the GP placement gave you insight into primary care and the first level of action in terms of treating patients on a local level, and the hospital placement gave you an insight into the frantic nature of busy London hospitals. At King's, the second year is split up into 4 modules. The first was something called Human Development, which focused on women's health and pregnancy. The second was Supporting Life, which focused on heart and lung conditions. The third was Inflammation, which focused on conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis and along those lines. And the last was Aging, which focused on the elderly and the specialty of geriatric. All 4 placements worked well with the lectures that they were combined with, as this was way better than first year, because you'd have lectures on 1 day and then you'd get that direct patient experience of the lectures you were taught in the hospital or the GP. I thought this was worked in really well, as first year was purely based on theory, whereas second year was a lot more interesting and put the theory into action. I remember my first day, it was quite funny, looking back at it at least. I was part of a surgery at my hospital placement. I was quite surprised to be there on my first day, as I didn't expect to actually help out or do anything of that nature because it was so early on. However, there's something called scrubbing, where you clean your hands and prepare yourself for surgery by keeping a sterile field, so there's no introduction of foreign bacteria into the room. And I remember the one thing I was told was, don't put your hands down after you've scrubbed. And what did I do immediately? I just put my hands down, and I got quite a scolding from the nurse, as she was quite pissed off about what I did. It's comedic looking back. However, in the moment I was not shook, but quite embarrassed about what I did. One of the downsides of second year for me was commuting. As I said in my previous video, I live at home, so I'm commuting to uni pretty much every day. And for my hospital placement, I was in South London. So in South London, it was about a 45-minute trip. However, due to the fact that I'm taking 3 trains and one of them consists of an overground train, there's a lot of timing issues that arose due to maybe cancelled trains or delayed. And because of that, commuting became a lot of effort, and a 45-minute journey became a 1.5-hour journey. However, I'm British, so I'm still complaining. Aside from our clinical practice, we did have a few essays we had to write throughout the year. If I'm not mistaken, the longest was only 2,000 words, so it was quite minor in the big scheme of things. This was a lot better than other universities, which I've been told write sometimes essays every week or every month, and that's quite taxing, I think. You know, as a medical student, I think you should focus on the clinical side of things, and at King's they definitely do that from our second year onwards. In terms of how it was run, I would say it was run all right, not excellent or not bad. I thought the small group teaching was good. However, the large-scale lectures didn't really work, as explaining research skills and techniques on a large scale, I don't think is quite productive in the sense that because of the style of content which it is, it's a benefit to do that on a small group teaching. However, one of the best parts of the year for me was the video taking module I undertook in the second part of the year. In this module, I had to make a video explaining a health condition to a patient, and I thought that was really well organized and well run by my supervisor. In particular, she was really good. And that module, I'd say, was a turning point in the sense that it was the defining factor in me actually starting a YouTube channel because I enjoyed it so much. And after I did that, I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna dive headfirst and make this channel. In my spare time, I definitely say I indulged in a few podcasts. I've been watching podcasts for about 3 years now. I was in sixth form at the time I started watching it. So I've been watching them for quite a long time. The ones I'm watching right now are the Half Cast podcast with Poet and Chucky. The 3 Shots of Tequila podcast is quite good as well. I would say right now 3 Shots of Tequila is probably my favorite, as it provides quite remarkable opinions on problematic experiences you might face. These are no way related to my degree. However, they're more lifestyle podcasts, and I feel when you're in your free time, it's best just to shut off and not think about work. Also during the summer, I've started to read a book called 10X by Grant Cardone. This is a lifestyle self-help mentality book which motivates you to do things. The book is based on the principle that you work 10 times harder than you would in order to maximize your gains. So for example, if you want to gain £1,000, it says you should work 10 times harder. So you should work as if you're trying to get £10,000 in order to maximize your original returns. That is just the sole principle of the book. The book it's written all right. However, it's quite a practical book, and I would definitely recommend it. If you want me to do a more extensive review on the book, tell me, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do that, as I enjoyed the book quite a lot. I'm only halfway through. However, when I finish it, I'll be happy to do so. With the third year coming up and my second year finished, I set a few goals as I did in the first year. These goals are more lifestyle goals and progressive goals in moving forward with my career and my degree. They don't necessarily focus on grades. For instance, one of my goals was to be part of the Surgery Society Committee, and I can say proudly that I was voted in for the outreach post. So in that role, I'll be traveling around to different schools, teaching sixth form students and inspiring them to do medicine, and also setting up the annual conference with the Surgery Society in January, I believe. And I'm quite proud and excited to do that. In addition to this, I want to kind of be more proactive in setting up my medical CV and best preparing myself to go into the field of sports medicine and orthopedics when I'm at that point. Doing that, I'm probably going to try and see a lot more surgeries and gain better experience into what the field actually entails, as I can say for sure that sports medicine and sports injuries are my passion, and I just want to kind of explore that further. In addition to that, I want to kind of move forward with this YouTube channel. I started it in the summer properly, I would say, and I've enjoyed it so far. So kind of finding a schedule to post videos and also stay on top of my uni work. It's going to be challenging, however, we will do it. If you have any questions for me regarding my experience at medical school so far, feel free to comment down below or message me privately through my Instagram or Facebook pages. I enjoy making this content, so I'm open to kind of sharing any questions or myths you have about medical school and confirming them or denying them. Regarding future videos, I'll also continue to make my sports injury content, and also I might produce a video about more mistakes that I made in hospital, as they're quite funny and you definitely shouldn't make these mistakes. Also, I'm going to kind of explore more of the interesting cases that I've seen, particular surgical ones, and kind of share interesting cases. Apart from that, I want to say subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of this future content, and like the video and share it with any prospective medical students in year 1 or in sixth form, as this should benefit them. Feel free to comment down below about any particular videos you want me to make and how I can improve. Apart from that, I want to say thank you for watching.
Dynasty program initiating. Dynasty boy. Yeah. I had to get out at end, so hopefully I could focus on music fully. So I went back to uni to find out the distraction of being fresh is triple the amount.